Tiger. Is there a good way of dying naturally?
I don't know. I think there is. I think most people would pick sudden heart attack and in sleep. Right, they would pick sudden heart attack and sleep. We assume that's the best way to die. Of course, you never know.
You're too young to get in on this conversation, Jeff.
I understand.
I think I'll call you Mr. Feiger, if I may.
You can call me Jeff.
When do you decide that this person probably would be best to go?
Well, actually, the patient decides when it's best to go.
But is he or she a good judge?
Only on what he or she wants. As a medical doctor, it is my duty to evaluate the situation with as much data as I can gather, and as much expertise as I have, and as much experience as I have, to determine whether or not the wish of the patient is medically justified. The two must then coincide, the wish of the patient and the medical justification.
What is the legal aspect to this? Does he tell you what he's going to do?
No, not in advance.
You're just saying that because you don't want to be...
Maybe. But I don't think he's committed any crime. He's just doing something that's right. And everybody instinctively understands it. That's why we're winning. This isn't something that we have to teach people a lot about. They understand that government has no business telling you when you have to, how much you have to suffer before you die.
How do you feel about what the Eskimos do? Is that a good idea?
Well, no, that's brutal.
Putting
older that's
men
brutal.
And women out on ice floes.
We're doing the same thing by letting them starve and thirst to death in hospitals. The Germans did that in the concentration camps. Our Supreme Court has validated...
That happens in hospitals, you think?
You sure does. It's legal. And the Supreme Court of the United States, our august Supreme Court, has validated the Nazi method of execution in concentration camps, starving them to death.
Now, what are you saying? Please, what are they doing in hospitals that you...
They take away their feeding and water when they're in coma and let them die. I mean, you're validating what the Nazis did in concentration camps.
And but you do not approve of that?
Absolutely not. That's brutal. That is inhumane. Would you approve of that when you say a person should be allowed to die? Inject them quickly and painlessly. Not let them wither away and starve to death. That is inconceivable. It's unspeakable. But our Supreme Court has said, that is nice. It's ethical.
If what you do became popular, in other words, if it was accepted legally and ethically, and people in hospitals who were terminally ill and in nursing homes and everywhere else, they died with some help from doctors like you, would this have an effect on the income of doctors and hospitals?
It could. If you let every doctor do it, it could. Just like everything else, you let any doctor do it, and some are going to abuse because you've got some crooked doctors out there.
Should they let every doctor do it?
No.
Well, who should do it and who shouldn't?
It should be specified, I don't care by who, not by government preferably, but by the medical profession. Who certifies cardiac surgeons?
You mean it should be something that would be a certification, just like being
Yes.
Is that true?
That's a good way to control it.
I think the American public is puzzled about you. They don't know whether you're a medical philosopher or a nut. Which are you?
Probably both. You might say I'm a philosophic nut or a nutty philosopher. It doesn't matter. Words don't mean anything. If you dig into anybody's character, you can find eccentricities that you can characterize as nutty.
You've done some nutty things, though. I saw your picture of you in a pillory. In a Thomas Jefferson. Why would you do that?
Well, for example, these are object lessons. Nothing's more powerful than object lessons.
You seem abnormally obsessed with death.
Not at all.
But I've seen some of your art. I've read some of your book. Both your prose and your painting are macabre.
Well, okay, the one on war where you have this body...
Macabre.
With a head on a plate in front of it.
Yeah, I would tend to call that macabre.
What is war? When you look at that, do you get a good feeling? No. You look at it, it's colorful, and it's nice, it draws you to it, and then which we do to war, and then you go through it and then say, God, that was macabre. That's the feeling I'm trying to convey with the painting. You look at that painting, you like looking at it, it's colorful, but you hate what you're looking at.
In view of all these things, and how you are viewed by the American public as somewhat of an oddball, do you think that you were the right guy to have represented this cause about which you feel so strongly? Could someone else have done it better?
No. Maybe. Sure. Where is he? Where is she? Look at They criticize me, you're not the poster child for this. Fine. The reason I'm doing it in a fashion that's not entirely acceptable to everybody is because of the prosecutor and the intimidation. They threaten me with jail, I'm hauled into court, we got to hide things, they come in and confiscate everything in the house. This is the most brutal prosecutorial department
You haven't enjoyed it just a little bit? You look as though sometimes in court you're enjoying.
We enjoy winning.
What looks like enjoyment is the sneer of contempt. That's not a smile.
You're sneering?
Sneering and contempt, right. In this last trial, I had to show contempt, not just say it. I showed it. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Prove it.
Easily.
Prove it. Cite a case on common law of assisted suicide prosecution. Cite it.
Judge, you want to instruct him not to ask questions, speak before you ask
You can cite me
question?
for contempt, Your Honor. I don't care.
Thank you, Judge.
You advised him against being so
Oh,
contemptuous?
absolutely. He doesn't listen to me, and of course I don't listen to him, so we're equal on that ground.
Now, when you become involved with somebody who is terminally ill and you agree to help them end their lives, is there a charge you make?
No. No.
No money ever exchanges hands?
No.
He'd be in jail if
Is that true?
Andy,
Yes.
he'd be in jail if
I hadn't
that was
thought of
true.
that, yeah.
He would be in jail.
Why, first of all, a transfer of money should never be involved in this profound situation. Although illness is profound too, but medicine's a business today. It's a business. There's a way to solve it. The doctor who does this must be salaried. Now, what you've done with that, you create two big advantages. First, there's no incentive for the doctor to do more than he has to do. In fact, he wants to do less now. All salaried people would like to do less for the money. And second, you prevent abuse.
Did you really seriously worry about going to prison?
No, never. Am I a criminal? The world knows I'm not a criminal. What are they trying to put me in jail for? You've lost common sense in this society because of religious fanaticism and dogma. You're basing your laws and your whole outlook on natural life on mythology. It won't work. That's why you have all these problems in the world. Name them. India, Pakistan, Ireland. Name them. All these problems. They're all religious problems.
You don't seem to feel very strongly about this issue, do you? What do you do for fun, Dr. Kevorkian?
Irritate people.
Dr. Kevorkian, did he help his patients?
Do you think he was a misunderstood hero or
was he a killer murderer?
place your comments
On this What Do You Think channel.
That is what the letters WDYD stands for. What do you think?
Dr. K was a hero
Or killer?